wow. So we started it when you were already out there, or did we start while you were still in Denver?
We would have started this while I was here.
Okay. Wow.
Because
Okay.
the last Vague Idea ep that you guys did, I was here for.
Ah.
And then yeah. And it's been this way ever since.
Let's see if I move again.
Yeah, right. Well, me too. Who knows?
Yeah.
Lots of things. Chelsea too. Lots of
Chelsea
things
too.
could happen. Chelsea could come back.
She better.
She will.
And that's
I
a
believe
threat.
yeah, and a promise. Ahoy, listeners! This is Debut Buddies. It's a fortnightly podcast about firsts. My name is Nate, and I'm one of the buddies.
I'm Kelly. I'm the other buddy.
And listeners, this is an exciting week for us, okay? Because we have come here to inseminate women on behalf of the provisional government and podcast, and we're all out of semen.
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
Thank you. I waited. Listener, I did not. Well, some of the silence will be edited out, but that was a long pause.
It was a long pause.
We're making a They Live reference
Yeah.
to Roddy
All out of
Piper's
bubblegum,
second
etc.
feature lead role, because we're going to talk about his first feature lead role, which is as Sam Hell in a little film called Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Oh boy. Before we get into it, did you like this film?
Oh, before we get into even that,
Yeah.
I think that we do owe the listeners something we promised them we would do if we received an email. So what I want to do
Oh, that's right.
is we're going to start the show. We need a new segment. We're going to need a new theme song. We're going to have to talk to Michael J. O'Connor about this. It won't be present
Yep.
in this episode. I'm sorry. But in future episodes, there will be some amazing tune or ditty that plays, but not P, just regular. A ditty.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
A ditty.
Yeah.
With T's. One of my favorite
You know,
podcasts.
Little Diddy, Jack and Diane,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, totally. That kind. One of my favorite podcasts I was listening to, they're re-releasing some old eps. And they do this like 15-minute long kind of P. Diddy joke thing
Oh, God.
where it's just like, man, and I know because there are several hundred hours of me talking where some things have certainly not aged well.
Oh, yeah. I've said some stuff.
Yeah, it's just funny where you're like, yep, this is what it is. And then I
Yeah.
also feel good because it's like, well, they didn't think we should edit that out. They're like, everybody will
Right.
get it. It was a different time.
It was a different
Don't worry
time.
about it.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm never going back to edit old episodes. Like, what's done is done.
Yeah. I mean, at most, we'll go back to edit in like ad breaks if someone
Yeah.
decides they want to actually give us money for this at any point.
Right. But only ever additive, never subtractive.
Yeah. Definitely, I would add more inflammatory rants about the very advertisers
Oh,
that
big
we're adding
time.
in.
Yeah. Or just maybe double down on some of the problematic stuff we've said. Just go in with like, and another thing.
Yeah. Or just literally double and or triple down by just copy pasting the same thing in a row so that we just say it over and over
and over again.
Yeah.
Or double it like doubling vocal tracks in music
Oh, yeah,
production
yeah.
so that it's sort of like just a few milliseconds off and we get like a reverb effect.
Yes, I like
Yeah.
that. What I want is listeners to eventually feel as though they're going into a trance whenever we say something
Yeah.
that's problematic.
Yeah, I want it to be the binaural beats of problematic.
So, listeners, we received an email to debutbuddies@gmail.com, and we read our past email from Savannah, read that on the air, and we promised we're always going to do this. So I'm going to read the email that we received on this very day, this very recording day, so that you know. This comes from a gentleman named John Eberts. He is john.eberts at something. It's difficult to read URL, so I'm not gonna read it. Also, I don't want to dox this person. They're probably a perfectly nice person. The subject of this email is all beef skinless frankfurters, all beef 5-inch, 8-pound, 5-pound.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's a first. Is there a first sausage that we could talk about?
Well, I mean, we did the first hot dog eating competition, so
did.
maybe he's
Ooh,
a fan. Maybe he's a listener.
You know what? It's genius because that's actually probably exactly why we got this email.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely it is.
because the show is now on YouTube in its entirety. So you can go to YouTube, and I bet somebody's web crawler was like, "Oh, they made a video about hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Let's send them an ad."
Let's see what they say. Okay, here's the email from John Eberts. Hello. I hope this email finds you well. I am writing to request a quote with the lead time for the parentheses meat beef, all caps.
Meat beef.
Meat beef, all caps, close parentheses, below. Hot and spicy beef franks, 8-pack. Bun length skinless beef franks, 8-pack. Colossal quarter-pound beef franks, 8-pack. Jumbo restaurant-style beef franks, 5-pack. All beef skinless frankfurters, dash, all beef 5-inch, 8-pound, 5-pound package, 30 pounds. All beef natural casing frankfurters, all beef jumbo, 24-inch, 0.57 pound, 1.5 pound package, 40 pounds.
24-inch hot dog.
Yeah.
We're getting a 2-foot hot dog in here?
Yeah, I don't think it counts as a hot dog at a certain point. I think we're dealing in dare I say lady devices at a certain point.
Oh, that's too big.
It is.
Well, what's the girth? What'd it say?
It's only 0.57 pounds, so it can't be that girthy.
Oh, no, that's so
Widely distributed.
No.
Look, the email continues, though. Ground beef, 81/19. I assume that's the lean to fat content.
Yeah, the lean to fat.
60 pounds, 12 5-pound packs per case. We are interested in purchasing both items.
Oh, great.
And
we're selling this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're the meat vendor in
We're
this,
the vendor.
in this
Oh, no.
We are interested in purchasing both items and would like to know the pricing and the lead time of the products. Apparently, John is from Somerset, New Jersey. There is an address in the signature. I will not read it in its entirety. But what we've learned here is that this podcast has become so popular. It is so clear that we have, to use the parlance of the 1980s, when people said, "Where's the beef?" They were talking about, like, where's the substance? And they believe we have so much substance that they're actually trying to acquire beef from us.
We, I guess, have the beef. Now, this brings up another question. These are very specific meat beef requests. Which means that while they scraped our content, they scraped somebody else's meat beef content.
They sure did.
And they've merged us together.
They have.
I'm unclear what the scam is here.
Yeah. Let's never say scraped the meat beef again. I'm not into that. But yes, this email posits that they would like to buy both items, which to me, as a English speaker of 43 years experience, nearly 44, would imply that they have two items that they've requested pricing on, and that they would like to purchase both of those items.
Both of them. Mm-hmm.
This list has 9 items on it?
Well, when you break it down like that, it does. But when you break it down by meat and beef, it's only 2.
This is fair. John is asking specifically about types of franks and then ground beef. So maybe for John, this is like, look, our customers don't care if the hot dog is 2 feet long or 5 inches long, nor do they care if it's hot and spicy or bun length or a quarter pound or a jumbo restaurant. They don't care about that. What they care about is that it's a hot dog. So give me the price on the dogs.
Meat and or beef. We can make a deal.
Yeah. Now that assumes it's not meat divided by beef, which I guess could be a scenario.
Oh no.
I mean that's a greater existential question though, because meat as a large umbrella would include lamb and fish and insects. It would include tons.
That's
of things.
True. It would
divide that by beef,
include
and there's still quite a bit of meat left.
Yeah.
unless they're okay. Third potentiality here. This gentleman is declaring a sort of Cold War with us by claiming meat beef, and that we need to settle this meat beef.
We've got we're gonna have to rap battle.
Exactly.
We're the new Kendrick to his Drake.
That's right. That's right. And from what I've heard, Drake prefers those 5-inch hot dogs.
Oh boy. Well, he preferred the buns, if I'm remembering correctly.
Well, yeah.
I was upset with you, and then I doubled down.
Speaking of doubling down, what do you do with 60 pounds of ground beef?
I don't know. 240 quarter-pound burgers.
See, now we're talking. Now you have become a restaurateur, and I think that's what this email was all about.
He just wanted to help me find my way.
Yeah. He's just unlocking something special in you, the realization that you've always been meant to own
my burger math potential.
a meat beef restaurant. Can you imagine? Kelly's Meat Beef.
Oh, I don't.
It's in the mission.
I'm like,
you go to the mission, 95%. You find Kelly's Meat Beef.
I'm like so close to being vegetarian entirely.
All the more reason. You would know because you respect the animals, so you know which meat beef is going to be the nicest to the customer.
Oh, see, I was thinking that I would only sell animals that were jerks, like animals that started beef with other animals.
Ooh,
that's the meat beef.
Okay, cool, yeah. So now you need like a big open lot.
Like,
you're like, hey, you can just pick 2 animals and see if they start a fight, and you can eat whichever one does. But if they both just chill and nuzzle each other, you're going home.
But we're not. They're fine. Yeah. So
we've got a lovely quinoa on the menu if the animals won't beef.
I've got a really great carrot and white bean burger recipe. I can do that for you.
I think this is in. This is perfect. So, listeners, we would love for you to email us, debutbuddies@gmail.com. Let us know, do you think that we should do an episode on something meat beef related? Is that it? Do you think that's what's going on here?
And how much should we charge this guy?
Yeah. What should we be charging for those items listed in the email? I'm gonna leave them all in. You just go back, write them down. You figure out what seems fair. Send us an email.
Yeah. Debutbuddies@gmail.com.
That's right. Now, let's talk about Hell Comes to Frogtown, shall we?
I would love to.
You asked a very important question before we discussed meat beef.
I did. Did you like this movie?
I'm going to go ahead and say that I think it is pretty fantastically self-aware and hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Do I think it's a good movie?
No, that's
really.
Not what I asked.
But I don't think it's trying to be a good movie. I think it's trying to be one of the most fun movies that you can see. Yeah. Of a type that won't ever exist again. Like, this is...
Oh, yeah.
Movies don't get made like this. Like, you're not going to make a movie with frog people and all of the weird, like, sort of not even horniness in this movie.
Yeah. The horniness is strange. There's a strange. The horniness, I don't even know how to categorize it. Because some of it is like literally performative. And very intentionally so. So you can't be horny for that. And then some of it is also performative, but within the universe of the movie is supposed to be more legitimate.
I think only Czech Farrell, the soldier, getting up on Roddy is legit supposed to be like...
That's the only legit sexiness.
I think so.
Because she's hot as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she also can act, which benefits her presenting as a person who's trying to seduce him genuinely.
Yeah. Yeah. The other scene I was thinking of was the harem at the end getting our main sergeant into the vibes for the 3 snake dance or whatever.
Yeah, where they're
Dance
all
with
like...
the 3 snakes.
waving silk over top of her in a circle.
Yeah.
And the thing about this movie is that it, because of the time it was made, but I'm hoping also because people were having adult conversations about how to do things in a way that was appropriate. Like, everyone, like, so many women are scantily clad in this movie, but not in a super risque way. Like, everything has a very, like, frilly, poofy, extra sort of energy to it. So it feels more like bathing suits, generally.
It really, really does. Yeah.
Right?
It all feels very they're dressed for women, not for men. They're like, here's my cute little pink thing that I love so much. These are the frills that cover my whole butt.
Yes. Yeah. No, totally. That's it. That is exactly what it is. So to answer your question, I love this movie. I think it's really good. I think it's really good for me. I don't think it's like, it's not capital G good, but it is. No. I watched it 5 times.
Oh my God. Does that beat your Star Wars number of watches?
I think, not overall, but I think it does in the window, in the record
for the
window.
pod.
Yeah, because the Star Wars thing, I think I watched it 4 times.
4 times, damn.
But I have definitely seen Phantom Menace like 10 or 12 times.
Right,
totally.
of course.
This, I was like, no, more. Let's do it again.
More.
Let's start
Yeah,
it
I
over.
watched it twice because I was like, again.
And it's not just for the things we've already named. Like, it is endearing. Like, Roddy Piper is good. Like, he is doing exactly what he's supposed to do for this. He is believable, and he is giving everything he can give. Like, hey, you're supposed to pretend that you're getting shocked in the balls, and he gives you that. And he gives you both Looney Tunes and something else.
There's a term for that in wrestling where you pretend to feel that pain.
Is it like faint?
No, that's like,
or like, you're not talking about kayfabe.
No,
Okay. Those are the
There's like a
I've
specific word for like exaggerating the pain that you're feeling. And I can't remember it right now, but I was like, damn, somebody learned how to do that verb.
Hell yeah, they did. Yeah. He's a joy.
He really is. So the first time I watched it, I was like, I did not notice that his performance was so endearing. I think because I was very focused on the plot. Mm-hmm. And then the second time I watched it, I was so focused on him. He truly does a good job. You can tell. So I read in the trivia on IMDb that they did hire an acting coach for him for this movie. And so there are a couple times that you can tell that he's like just copying a line read that he was given, but only if you're really paying attention. Otherwise, it's really fun.
His very endearing Canadian accent sneaks out in some lines too, especially when he's acting exasperated at something. I love that. And it's not just him, because he's wonderful. Like, I really do like Roddy Piper in anything I've seen him in, because he does seem to just like, he gets what he's there for. He's fun. Yeah. He gives a complete performance. It doesn't have to be perfect, but he's committed. Like, he doesn't seem like he's sleepwalking through, and he also doesn't seem confused about what acting in a movie is. It's like he gets all of it.
He knows, and he understood the tone of the movie.
Yes.
Like, he knew what we were doing.
I think that's why the movie is good, because the movie through and through understands its tone. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
The writing knows the tone. The way that the movie like really smartly shoots some stuff, including like in the very opening sequence when we get a depiction of a Statue of Liberty with a wreckage of rebar and dirt. And then it's like, oh no, it's a tiny souvenir Statue of Liberty that someone's going to pick up.
Yes. Because it literally looks like that establishing shot. You're like, oh, that is a bad miniature. Because from the perspective that it's filmed, it is supposed to look bad. Yeah. But when you don't yet know that that's what the movie is doing, you look at it and you think, oh, this is an establishing shot of like post-apocalyptic New York City I'm supposed to believe that that's the Statue of Liberty. It looks bad. I'm not buying it. And then somebody immediately picks it up. And I was like, that is genius. That is a genius move. Like, let's save money on having to actually do miniatures by like doing this tongue in cheek bit. But yeah, the very opening line of the movie is like, in the late 20th century, there arose a disagreement, and then it shows a nuclear bomb going off. Like, y'all don't need to know all the details.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The apocalypse happened.
Does not
and
matter.
These are the people who were left. And yeah, it's just so smart because it has that awareness. The credit sequence is fucking awesome because it's just like this long sort of comic booky, like two-tone, like blue and black sort of like high contrast silhouette sort of thing, and it feels very dramatic, but it also feels very comic booky, right? It's telling you like, look, this is not a serious movie, but it's going to kind of be serious, and we're going to lean into the fact that this guy's a badass in this story, but also this story is silly as fuck, and it's going to be okay.
Story is so dumb.
I mean, in truth, the story is Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, which I haven't seen, so didn't clock it.
So,
do you think they stole it?
I love to fantasize that George Miller, the creator of Mad Max, would have seen this movie and been like, I'm going to make a movie in 2014, 15, something that is going to have a similar plot. In Mad Max Fury Road, Mad Max
Hell
is
goes
kind
to
of barely
Frogtown?
in the movie.
Oh.
He's in it, but he's not centered. He's not the protagonist. Instead, it's Charlize Theron playing Furiosa, who is kind of the lead. And Furiosa is trying to smuggle all of these women who are being used as concubines by shitheads out of the shithead town.
Hell
it's
yeah.
pretty much the same movie. It's not quite the same because they're not taking Max in to impregnate all of them first. But you know, it's something else.
Yeah, that is one troubling aspect of Hell Comes to Frogtown. Is it comes to?
I think it's comes
is he going or coming?
Because Hell comes
of course he's coming. He's got to be coming to Frogtown.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously.
Right. And he's not using protection except for a gun.
Except for a gun. They are smuggling these women out of the harem, but still to be impregnated by the good guys. Like, they're still going to be concubines, just where they'll be treated like queens instead of prisoners.
Yeah. And the premise of this movie, yes, deeply problematic. That is still problematic. But the premise of this movie is that literally every single woman in this movie, save for the scientist at the very beginning who says he's carrying a loaded weapon and talking about his dick.
Please, wiener.
His wiener. Talking about his wiener. Everybody else in the movie wants to bone down with Roddy Piper.
Which I don't get it.
Well, and this is the thing. I think the premise of the movie is not that they're interested in him romantically or even like attracted to him. It's as if because there's literally no other way to continue to propagate humanity and the humanity of the provisional government, because what they're saying they're doing is they have to repopulate faster than the other people who disagreed with them, right? So whoever else did the nuking is also trying to reproduce.
We've got an arms race.
Yeah, exactly.
Is what we've got.
Yeah, for literal arms and legs.
Yep.
Coming out of little humans. So, yeah,
but you're right, because it's not just it was like 60% of men or something were killed in the war. So there's been men rationing. And so, yeah, I guess all the women are just super horned up, whether or not, like, for anyone.
Right. I mean, it's leaning heavily into these maybe biological imperative things that could be. Look, there are problems with this.
Sexy soldier is sterile.
Yeah, she's just
why she was like, I'm not allowed to bone you, but let's do it fast and quiet.
Yeah. Which, and again, she's the only one who's like totally cool.
Yeah, I agree. Her character name is Sentinella.
Sentinella, yeah. Because the sergeant not a
can't remember her
particularly
name.
convincing actress, and it's not her fault. It's just
She's a dancer. I looked her up. Her background is dancing, not acting.
yeah, she was in Conan
But
the
considering
Barbarian.
that, I feel like she did a good job.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, not a bad job by any means.
Yeah.
But very much like getting a lot of mileage out of looking askance or looking wide-eyed.
Yes.
And kind of like doing bug-eyed sorts of things. And
Yeah.
then by the end of the movie, we're supposed to be like, oh, cool, they fell in love because that's what we all wanted. And you sort of don't feel that for them, I don't think. Like, you're more just enjoy. Look, this movie is
Yeah,
like, just
it's
enjoy
whatever.
what's happening in this movie.
Yeah, just let it happen. Let it wash over you.
You get 38 minutes in, you get to Frogtown. Then it's all puppet frog people. There's a puppet frog burlesque dancer / sex worker. There's
That they really
Lori
linger
Calhoun.
over.
Yeah, she's in the movie quite a bit.
Yeah, and when you first see her, the camera like does a slow pan. She's dancing on a bar countertop, and the camera does a slow pan up from her feet, and then the like jump scare reveal is that she's a frog person. Because it's like, ooh, hot lady.
Oh no, it's a frog face. But look, I mean, not bad. She's not bad looking for frog person.
No, yeah, I mean the men were much more upsetting to look at.
Absolutely, especially the big kingpin guy that was riding around in the back of the Jeep at the end.
Yeah, he was no good.
Let's talk a little bit about the history of this movie because it's got some history.
Ooh,
Isn't that exciting? That something
I'm
that happened
so
in the
excited.
past has some history. So we've explained the plot that this is a movie about the last fertile man in a post-apocalyptic world populated by humans and mutant amphibians. The film's cast includes Sandal Bergman, that's our dancer, and Sergeant. She was also in Conan the Barbarian, and Red Sonja, the sequel focusing on her character from Conan the Barbarian. Red Sonja. Czech Varel, that's Centinella. Czech Varel was on lots of TV, including the 1994 X-Files episode Lazarus, playing
that
Lula
we were
Phillips.
just talking about.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Like, were we talking about it because of her? I don't think so.
I think we're talking about it because this was all meant to happen.
I think so too.
I
That
think-
was a synchronicity, baby.
Yeah, I think this is ultimate meat beef that we're experiencing right now. William Smith and then Rory Calhoun, Rory Calhoun, you might remember, was a popular actor in the 1950s in a bunch of westerns, musicals, and comedies. He did a lot of television
he's
later
the
in his
old man
career in
at
the
the end?
70s. Yeah, he was the prospector guy.
Yeah. Okay.
There are two sequels to Hell Comes to Frogtown. There is Return to Frogtown, released in 1993, and Max Hell Frog Warrior, released in 1996. Both direct to video, neither good.
Oh, yeah.
No one has a positive association with either of these films. Even people who love Hell Comes to Frogtown. It's like, Roddy's not in them. They're not.
Right.
They're even lower budget. Like,
You mean this one didn't garner them a higher budget?
we're gonna get into that a little bit because the budget story for this movie is kind of interesting.
Oh, I'm excited.
I think it's fascinating that really when you're watching the movie, what is clear is that the budget is spent within the first 45 minutes. Like once you see Frogtown and the frog sort of makeup / puppeteer situation, all of the money is gone. Like it's all on the screen. Everything after that point for the last like 30 minutes or so, they are driving a car from the time it was filmed through deserts near California that are not at all like there's no effort made to be like, hey, we're gonna make this look like something. There's not rubble. There's not a sense that like this is a bombed out city that they're driving through. It's just like, no,
Doesn't
we're
need
just
to be.
outside. We're literally just outside.
It was filmed in I forget the name, but it was like a big area in California, something ranch, something farms maybe, where a bunch of post-apocalyptic movies were filmed because there were like so many diverse areas on this one property that looked like different types of settings. So including if I am remembering correctly, that includes the famous Star Wars fight between not Star Wars, Star Trek.
Between Captain Kirk and the
Kirk
and the lizard man,
the other,
whose name I can't remember what it is now.
No, I don't know that that's in my brain. I just can picture it.
I think it's Gorn. I think Gorn is the name of the creature. But yes, yeah, I was going to say it looks just like that. It looks like the kind of thing that 60s television would be like, hey, look, let's take a camera out into the desert for 5 takes. You're gonna do a couple of karate chop double hand hits on this guy wearing a puppet head's back, and then we're out of here.
That's all we need. I think we got it in one. Let's do a second just for safety.
Yeah.
And Roddy's like, "Can I do one just for me?"
I believe that he should have. They should have given him as many takes as he wanted.
Yeah, can we get that cut? I want the Roddy Piper cut of Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Damn right. This movie was directed by Donald G. Jackson, whose other credits include The Demon Lover, Kill, Kill Overkill, Roller Gator, and Guns of El Chupacabra.
Hell yeah. Chupacabra has guns?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
The screenplay was co-written by Randall Frakes. Randall Frakes famously worked with James Cameron on Exogenesis, Battle Beyond the Stars, Aliens, and Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
This is interesting to me because in what capacity was he working?
I think also just as a screenplay co-writer kind of situation.
Whoa.
Like he's hanging out. He's a contributor and a collaborator.
I think that there was some clicks happening because Steve Wang, who did the effects for this movie, also worked on some of those movies doing special effects makeup.
That's how it is. Everybody knows each other. They're all scratching each other's backs.
Yep.
They're all rubbing each other's webbed amphibian hands on each other's backs.
Oh, yeah. I did read that they...
I'm not saying they're lizard people.
No, I know, but I did read that they had to keep spray bottles on set to keep the frogs moist between takes.
Yeah.
So that they were always glistening on camera.
We have a lead moistness grip. And their job is just... Now, normally, not on this type of film would you see this particular role. There are some films where this is always the case.
No, but we have it in this one. And given the plot, it's not doing what you think.
Yeah, no. This is about verisimilitude, people. Nobody's going to believe dry frogs exist. So Jackson makes a $70,000 rollerblade film. I believe maybe it was just called Rollerblade. Anyway, look, it's fine. He made a $70,000 movie. It went direct to video, and it was successful. So this movie studio called New World Pictures comes to Jackson and says, hey, do you have any other direct-to-video projects you'd like to do? He's like, hey.
Boy, do I.
I got this pitch. It's The Road Warrior, the first Mad Max movie, meets Planet of the Apes. What do you think? Let's make this movie.
I'm on board.
Yeah, it sounds great. So New World agrees, and they're like, hey, we're going to give you $150,000, and this has to be a non-union production because we can't afford union people. So here's $150,000.
Which means that key moisture grip was working overtime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the moisture grip has no healthcare benefits, probably.
God damn.
He's probably just going home. He's got...
carpal tunnel?
Yeah, he's got carpal tunnel. He's got pruny fingertips from all the moistening.
Oh, God.
Trying to eat chips out of the bag. They're soggy the moment he touches them.
So unfortunate.
It is. It's pretty sad. New World wants a big name for this movie, though.
Oh, you're going to give me 150 and you want a big name? Okay, sure. Yeah, no problem.
They need someone recognizable. Somebody people want to see has to be in this movie. So the original actress who was going to play Spangle is...
the sergeant.
Was going to be Suzanne Solari, who had been in that previous Rollerblade film. Our director loved Suzanne Solari, wants to keep her in the troupe.
Yeah.
New World is like, nope, you can either get Sybil Danning known for movies like The Howling 2, I think. Lots of horror, lots of low-budget horror.
I think Steve Wang worked on The Howling too.
Probably.
Sorry, go on.
Sybil Danning also, like, one of those known for having the unnecessary nudity in a movie people, like that kind of vibe.
Okay. Got it.
And then Sandal Bergman. Those are the two options.
Yeah.
You can do one or the other.
Okay. Great.
They end up going with Bergman, obviously. But with Bergman on the film, because she's been in Conan the Barbarian, a union picture. Now SAG is involved. So they have to up the budget to $500,000.
Okay.
All right. And they're
so we more than doubled it.
Yeah. They're blowing this thing up. And New World's like, well, if we're spending $500,000 on this is a feature. We are not sending this direct to video. This is going into theaters where it belongs.
Hell yeah, I would love to see this in a theater.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. I wish that there was one of those weird old, like, dollar a ticket theaters still that I could go to. And this would be one of the movies that would just be, we have to watch Hell Comes to Frogtown. That would be so fun. That's the Friday night, midnight movie. You're coming, you're going to watch just this, you leave.
We could do a double feature with, I mean, I guess Fury Road.
Yeah, you could do They Live also if you want to do a Roddy double feature.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
But I like the idea of contrasting Fury Road and this directly, just to be like, hey, look.
Same movie.
Yeah. The executives at New World are kind of skeptical about the stunt sequences and the action and whether or not you could do that with $500,000. They're like, this is ambitious. I don't know. So they increased the budget again.
Whoa.
And now it's somewhere in the like $800,000, $900,000 range. I couldn't find an exact number, but it was between $750,000 and $1 million.
Now, is Roddy Piper on board yet? Or is this all still, this is ahead of finding
I think they've got him.
lead?
I think they've already got him.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's not the name, obviously, but you got Sandal Bergman.
Yeah.
We got almost $1 million. We're building a Frogtown.
We're making a movie, baby.
That's right. So they let Jackson stay on as director, but they ask him to hire a co-director. So they get this guy, R.J. Kaiser, who worked with New World before. He had done some sequences for the American version of Godzilla from 1985 and a re-edit of the film The Return of Godzilla. And Jackson Kaiser have almost immediate meat beef.
I heard about this.
Yeah.
Well, he's coming in here fucking things up.
Yeah, Jackson doesn't want to lose control of this project. He pitched it from the beginning. They approached him. I get this. From this perspective, it's like, you came to me and said, we want to give you $70,000 to make anything. I gave you an idea.
And now you're changing.
Yeah. And now you're like, we want to give you almost $1 million, but we also don't want you to do it.
Man, studio intervention.
Yeah.
Constantly fucking up movies. Ugh.
He decides, generally speaking, okay, look, if the movie's going to be better, this is a better career move for me, whatever. They have conflicts about that. There's a whole thing about how Kaiser and the art director on the film, who was a friend of one of the New World executives, keep arguing about set dressing changes and things like that. And Jackson's like, hey, look, I'm doing cinematography stuff. I can make it look good. Stop messing with my thing. They keep messing with the thing. Then there's an argument between Kaiser and this guy, Neil Nordlinger, they're dealing with script changes. They're making cuts. They fired the original writer, Randall Frakes.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because he's like, hey, you got to film, just make the movie that I wrote. Like, the movie I wrote's good, just make the movie. And they're like, no, we want to make your movie bad. Studio intervention.
Apparently it was much more salacious, the original script.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think, you know, on one hand, New World probably made the correct call in this will be a movie that people can watch later and not feel horrible about.
It's also sort of like
more like sexual assault and things that would be implied in the circumstances and like
exactly
frog on lady stuff. We probably are better not seeing that.
I agree. And that's also, you know, once you decide that it's a feature, you really got to make those changes. Like direct to video, you can do whatever pretty much, but
yeah, because you can do anything to please the weird pervs that walk to the back of the movie, the video store. You're like, yeah, whatever. Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Like somebody wants to watch the frogs getting after it. Somebody, there's an audience for that.
Yeah.
And I hope Randall Frakes found it eventually.
I bet he did. I think he's okay.
Good.
They then decide after the rewrites and the edits and changes to the cuts that they're going to make this a direct-to-video move.
Oh. Damn it. Oh man. So apart from those fun theaters that do weird one-off custom programming, this never did make it to movie theaters.
Doesn't seem to have. No, like it ends up just having like a really nice life as a cult classic video store release. Critical reception for this was mixed, but TV Guide
that makes sense.
TV Guide gave it 2 out of 5 stars, calling it, quote, another of those futuristic post-apocalyptic science fiction dramas. And now that's the hard-hitting reviewing that TV Guide is known for, to say what the thing is. It's another one of those.
Also not accurate. That's also not accurate.
No, yeah. It's really not futuristic. It's like, it's near futuristic, I guess.
It's post-apocalyptic, sure. Yeah. It's not another of those.
Nor would I call it a drama.
It's not a drama. It's just not a drama.
It's more like a comedy. It's like an action comedy.
I would call it a romp.
Yeah. Oh, I would call it. I was gonna say romp too. It has big romp.
It's vibes. A romp.
Fully a romp.
Oh man.
5 stars. Fully a romp. Debut bites.
Spoilers. Wait until we get to the debs.
Yeah.
It has like a 5.5 on IMDb, which is really good for this type of movie. Yeah. Like, I know people don't like the IMDb rating scale, but I've used it for so long that I know how to interpret it. So like with a horror movie, if it's above a 5, it's probably pretty good. If it's a 6, it's like the best horror movie ever. Yeah.
And if it's more than that, it somehow transcends the concept of the genre. That's when altogether different.
And that's like when it starts to like break out of the horror fan bubble and like garner greater notoriety. And so when I saw that this had a 5.5 or thereabouts, maybe it might be 5.3. I was like, holy shit, this is going to be really good.
and it is well deserved, because this should be, for IMDb, this should be like a 3, right? Like, if it were, if it were bad, I guess, because it's not bad.
Yeah. If this had missed the mark, I would have pegged it at 2.5. Yeah. Like just knowing the title and who was in it and the premise, I was like, okay, it's going to be in the 2 or 3 range. So when I saw how high it was, I was like, oh my God.
And it's legitimately fun to watch the whole time.
Yeah.
Like it's the right length. It's not too long.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's funny when it means to be funny.
And then there are a few tender moments, but they don't last too long. They don't get sappy. They don't like disrupt the rest of the tone of the movie. It's just like brief little humanizing moments that are done really well.
Yeah, they're not misplayed at all. That would be the thing, right? It's like a bad movie of this type would miscalculate how to do that. Mm-hmm. And those would be more laughable than the stuff that was supposed to be funny.
Right.
I think everything here feels very intentional. Like they succeed at the swings they're taking. They're not, the swings that you would see in an Oscar-winning film. But
they were never setting out to do that.
Yeah, that's exactly. Like
they were like, let's make a romp. Yeah. And then they did.
The Academy Award for Best Romp goes to DVD Talk, which I guess must have issued their review multiple decades after this came out, just given that DVDs didn't exist. Wrote, Roddy Piper has to save the world by diddling beautiful babes and squashing 6-foot mutant toads with crummy attitudes. What's not to like? And that's a good question. What's not to like?
That's a great question. What's not to like?
Yeah. Jason Cook of Spinning Image said it was cheap and cheerful with narrative lulls and directorial shortcomings glossed over by a winning central premise and a smattering of witty dialogue.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. I guess I can't disagree with that.
I think it's fair. I think that's fair. So yeah, I mean, it pretty much gets 50% across the board. Randall Frakes did respond to the movie post-release saying that he was really happy that fans seemed to like it and that all the jokes landed as intended. Like, he wrote this to be like, this is supposed to be a stupid movie.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you all got that it was a stupid movie and you enjoyed the stupid movie I wrote.
I'm glad he also is like, and I'm taking credit for the jokes.
Hell yeah.
Like, they fired me, but those were my jokes.
Yeah, they belong to me. You liked my Frogtown.
Those were my frogs. I guess I'm surprised he was fired because he's billed so heavily in the opening credits. Like, what my first note is, who the hell is Randall Frakes? Because everything was like written by, co-directed by, produced by, executive produced by, like all of it was him.
There were like 7 total people probably involved though. Like, I don't assume that New World Cinema is like a large corporation. I imagine it was like, I mean, we can get some money to make this movie. Why not?
Almost $1 million.
Yeah. My uncle's got some land in the desert.
In the desert.
It's pretty biodiverse.
Oh, God. There's probably tax write-offs.
Yeah. There's probably lots of tax write-offs. You are spot on. I bet some people sheltered through this movie.
Oh, big time.
Amazing ways.
Okay, so where did the budget ultimately land? 800,000, you said?
Yeah, I think I couldn't get an exact number. Probably somewhere around 850 to 900.
Okay, because what I read was that the special effects budget, if I'm remembering correctly, what I read was that the special effects budget was $12,000.
Wow.
So all those frogs were $12,000.
In fairness, I'm going to guess that there's like 4 total frog costumes.
But they're intricate.
They are. I'm not saying that. What I'm positing more is that they spent that money to make 4 really good ones, and then they repainted and reused some of the heads where they needed
I see what you're saying.
Because it's not like Frogtown is a populous area where you see
it's not dense.
Hundreds of frogs. Like,
it's not cosmopolitan.
Almost no extras in this movie. You do not. They are in this movie opens in a room where there are 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
It follows 3 people through an empty wasteland until they get to a place where there are sometimes up to 5 to 7 people.
I know. And most of those are non-speaking roles.
Yes. Most of them are just ladies wearing different kinds of harem gear.
Yeah.
And
those are extras getting a day rate.
Yeah. So there's just not a lot of people in this movie. So yeah, if you're making a limited number of special effects, you could do it for 12K. And honestly, I think the heads are really good.
Dude, I agree. When I saw that it was only 12K, I saw that after I had watched it. I was like, I would have guessed double that, because they I wouldn't say that they look great. But for this movie, for this style of movie, and especially for 12K, they look really good.
Yeah.
They look really good.
You go into this expecting something like someone took craft foam, carved a head vaguely in the shape of a frog, coated it with green paint, and put googly eyes on it, and they were like, Frogtown. And no.
Or like that classic Planet of the Apes where you can see the actor's lips moving behind the mask. Like these were frog mouths, my friends.
The mouths are articulated. The eyes have multiple lids the way that frogs do. There's like a weird clear cleaning lid that comes up and a lid that comes down. They put some work into these frog heads.
Yep. I did like that the main frog lady, the only frog lady, just has the head, really. Like, she's fully clothed, even though she's a sex worker. She's like in thick tights. Like, she is frog only on head and hands. Everything else is fully covered.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we don't know the social norms in Frogtown. Like,
that's true, but I do know our budget, and we do not have frog body budget.
yeah. Combo of no frog body budget, and maybe this lady doesn't want the dampening boy to be wiping her down in between scenes. It could be both.
I don't remember that actress's name, but she was in a bunch of stuff prior to this, and she's really beautiful, which is so, you can't really see it through the frog face. But like descriptions of her, like beautiful, cheerful, energetic, everybody loves her on screen. And we stick her in a frog costume.
I mean, she carries that role really well too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a very
she plays like
thing. Is it
like
Christy Summers? Is
frog.
that who you're thinking of?
That sounds right.
Arabella is the name of that
Arabella.
frog. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Christy Summers.
Yeah, she's like ditzy and clumsy and very, very, very horny for Roddy Piper.
Oh, yeah.
Willing to wear a bag over her head to bone him.
There's a lot. There's a lot that doesn't happen in this movie that adds to the movie because it both doesn't happen, but it's suggested that it could. You know what I mean?
It could.
You know how like some movies are just better because, well, almost all movies.
It's jazz. It's like jazz.
Yes.
It's about the notes you don't play.
Exactly. No, but for real, like I think this is part of the issue with the sort of contemporary franchise filmmaking is that we do a lot of filling in the blanks that made old films interesting. I'm speaking mainly about Star Wars and the fact that like we don't need to know where Han Solo got his dice from, nor do we need to know where he got his gun from, but for some reason or his name, but all of those things are put into a movie when they're doing his backstory. And it's like, no, we didn't want to know those things. Like give us the cool stuff. Like make it so we're intrigued but not confused. Like that's all your storytelling.
Let us have imagination. Let us wonder.
Yeah.
Let us
do the thing that kids like to do that I did as a child, which is like, and surely if I had seen Hell Comes to Frogtown as a kid, like we would have played Hell Comes to Frogtown, and there would have been all sorts of weird shit going on in the wasteland that would be fun. It would be
you'd get to write your own stories. Yeah.
So this was Roddy Piper's very first leading role in a film. So I wanted to talk just briefly about Roddy's career because very important man to all of us.
Yeah, truly. He's a gem.
He is. He was born Roderick George Toombs.
Oh.
Just like the Toombs in X-Files. That's two X-Files crossovers.
That's two.
Just talking about this.
Great news. There is a third.
Oh.
Steve Wang, if I am remembering correctly, he did FX for this movie and also for an episode of The X-Files. No, he worked with somebody who did an episode of The X-Files.
That's pretty close, though. Kevin Bacon rules that applies.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
So Roddy is born in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, April 17, 1954. He's raised in Winnipeg, Manitoba. His father is a Canadian National Railway police officer. And Roddy gets expelled from junior high because he has a switchblade on him. He has a falling out with his father, and he leaves home. He starts staying in hostels.
Whoa. Wait, at how old?
In junior high, so he's like
in junior
12,
high.
13, 14.
Oh, he's just a baby.
Yeah, he's just a little guy.
Oh.
But that's why he's so good at walking through wastelands.
I guess so. I guess that's true.
He can do it and they live.
That's why he's so roguish.
Yeah. He's got that like, I've been on the road, but I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. I'm haggard.
Yes. He's perfectly haggard. So he ends up being hired by some professional wrestlers to run errands. So he just like goes and does stuff for them. And
he's just a gopher.
Yeah, he's a gopher. He does odd jobs at gyms and things. He starts playing the bagpipes also as a young man. And apparently he was never able, like he never stated in his life where he picked them up. Like they just sort of happened and it was a thing that he just did, which is the weirdest origin story for learning how to play the bagpipes I've ever heard. I don't know.
That's very strange.
I don't know how this happened, but I do it.
I don't know that I've ever been in the same room with bagpipes.
Yeah. So before he gets into the WWF in 1984, he wrestles like a few matches under Vince McMahon Sr., the current Monster's dad, and he ends up wrestling in Madison Square Garden in 1979. Pretty cool. He defeats a kind of for hire wrestler named Frankie Williams, and that then in another match, his opponent fills his bagpipes with toilet paper so he couldn't play them.
Oh no.
Which is a bummer for a guy that like part of his shtick is like, I'm gonna play my bagpipes, and that's
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what sound it makes. It probably just doesn't make a sound.
Probably none.
The
Yeah.
bag is full of toilet paper.
Right.
Hopefully clean and dry. It would be terrible if the bag was full of dirty wet. He ends up getting a contract in 1984, and he starts focusing on basically his strength. He's not going to be a wrestler in the sense that some of the other guys are. He's going to be a talker. So he has this segment called Piper's Pit, and he starts running the segment in 1984, and it goes for 3 years, and he like ends up arguing with Jimmy Snuka, who was one of the wrestlers at the time, and he insults Bruno Sammartino, and they end up having a cage match in Boston Garden for
Whoa.
that, which
just for running his mouth.
yeah, just for running his mouth. Then he ends up having a storyline that involved Hulk Hogan and Cyndi Lauper, which I couldn't find any details on. I probably could have digged deeper, but I didn't. I'm sure it's fascinating.
Listeners, if you know, write in debutbuddies@gmail.com.
Apparently also Mr. T is involved in this, perhaps.
They all were. Everybody was.
It ends up precipitating WrestleMania for the first time. So the first WrestleMania happens where Roddy is fighting Hogan and Mr. T.
What?
Pretty wild. And then Piper later said, years after this, that like basically the match was extra hard because they had to keep covering for Mr. T being bad at wrestling.
Oh no!
To hide it from the fans, which because Mr. T was a boxer, I believe.
Right?
Was what he
Yeah,
really
I guess
was.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So that led to Mr. T and Roddy Piper having a falling out. So they didn't do anything again until WrestleMania 2, in which they had a boxing match.
Oh, sure.
And Roddy gets disqualified because he body slams Mr. T, which is not not a sanctioned
because he brings wrestling
move.
rules.
Yeah. So then he kind of leaves wrestling again. He starts doing some other stuff. He ends up doing more kind of storylines in and adjacent to wrestling. One time, Piper's Pit gets replaced by something called The Flower Shop, hosted by Adrian Adonis, and they have to have a showdown over that. So Roddy's just like, Roddy's got like, clearly
He's just doing bits.
He gets to do bits, and it's clear like in his movies he's good at doing bits. Like he's skilled at bits, so it makes sense that he would be a bit-driven wrestler.
That's fun.
Also,
that's fun.
He leaves wrestling for a couple of years, comes back in 1989. He was supposed
right after Frogtown.
Right after Frogtown, he's supposed to wrestle in Denver, Colorado, on March 19th, and he ends up doing a live Piper's Pit that evening. 2 weeks later, he gets hosed down by a fire extinguisher by Morton Downey Jr., the loudmouthed radio host of the era. Morton Downey Jr. is something else. If you're not familiar with him, don't bother. He was gross. He just smoked a lot and said really horrible things. That was his shtick.
Great. He sounds great.
Anyway, in addition to wrestling, Roddy ends up appearing in the Cyndi Lauper music video for the song "The Goonies Are Good Enough."
So they're back together.
I think so. I think they sorted it out.
Or maybe they were fighting Hulk Hogan together. Maybe they were always
All
I don't
of
know.
The
We don't
Goonies
know.
Plus Cyndi Lauper and Roddy Piper fighting Hulk Hogan.
That sounds great.
I would pay to see that.
That sounds great.
I would pay to see that today.
Oh, I would pay more to see it today.
Absolutely. Yeah. Get Josh Brolin out there being a Goonie.
Hell yeah.
Corey Feldman.
The other guy, Samwise.
Yeah, Sean Astin.
That's him.
Yeah, sure is. Roddy performed the song For Everybody on the Wrestling album, which was released in 1985 on Columbia Records.
Oh God, I bet that's really tough to listen to.
Yeah.
Was he playing bagpipes?
It doesn't say. It doesn't say.
Oh, I'm choosing to believe he was.
I hope so. I hope so. He also appeared as a guest VJ on MTV in 1988.
Fun.
And in 1992, he released a UK-only single for his song I'm Your Man. And the single came with a B-side titled Judy Come Back.
Oh boy, I'm going to have to listen to these.
Yeah. So between 1988, when this movie comes out, and 2015, when he had his last lead role, Roddy was the lead in 23 separate films.
Holy cow.
Several of them I had never heard of. And
I've only heard of the two.
They're very direct to video. But pretty amazing career. Like, what an interesting actor, too.
Yeah.
Because of what you said. Because of the vulnerability, the haggardness, and the ability to play the bits.
The bits. And you know what? Even while he's playing like a haggard character, he's got this like boyish charm about him through the whole movie. Like, he's seen shit. He's at the start of the movie, he's like being beaten up by a police officer.
Yeah. He's fully being like Zero Dark 30'd is what's going on.
Yeah. And he's still like, I don't know, being rakish through the whole scene.
Mouthing off.
Like,
he's just like,
he's
what else are you gonna do to me? He's great.
Yeah. Excellent.
And he's able to play the scene where they let him go off to take a whiz. And and then he's like, okay, I'm out of here, ladies. And he's
just behind that bush.
he's monologuing his escape out loud, which is one, adorable, and two, the moment that the codpiece like pain sensor comes on, his eyes cross perfectly. He doubles over and he falls to the ground. Like a cartoon.
Selling. He sells it.
He's selling it. He is selling it. There's just so much fun about this movie. Like, I love that cop, spoilers, listeners, that cop that he has the beef with at the beginning of the movie, they have meat beef too at the end.
Wait. When does he come back?
Like in the last 10 minutes. He's like the last person they have to fight because he.
Oh, I didn't oh my God, I'm an idiot. I was just like, and this is a human from his past.
Because I think the premise is Roddy knocked up the guy's daughter.
Yeah. And the guy was saying that it was rape, but that wasn't true.
It doesn't appear to be because Roddy, Sam Hell as a character would not.
He's a romancer. He would never.
He doesn't.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, he doesn't take sparkle up on it. He would have hung out with Sentinella, I think, but doesn't.
Sure, but she started it.
She did. Yeah, she advances, and he's very like he's very against the whole thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, like he is being seduced left and right, and it's kind of like, hey, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, we should make that clear. He's been one. The world is like run by women here at the end of the world, and yes, he's being like. This is part of his prison sentence is to impregnate these women. Yeah. This isn't like a job that he volunteered for. This is a punishment. And the first time they meet a woman and his sergeant is like, all right, do it. He's like, I need romance.
Yeah, can't I buy your dinner first or something?
The vibes are off.
Yeah, he's so sweet because he's just
a sweet man.
He generally just he doesn't want to do anything, really.
No.
Like he's not.
I mean, he wants to bone women, but he wants them to want it.
Yeah. But I mean, and he several times is like, this is gonna be a lot of work. Like he gives that.
Yeah.
Like even at the very end of the movie when they're all riding off into the sunset and he has this van load of harem women.
What does he say? He's like, a prisoner's job is never done or something. Or a soldier's job, probably. He's a soldier at this point.
Yeah. Because he's in this place where now he loves Sparkle. He wants to be with Sparkle.
Yeah.
But he also acknowledges that, well, I guess I am under contract here to do this.
I gotta repopulate the earth, I suppose.
Yeah. So we can win the next disagreement.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, the movie is it's just a hell of a ride. Like, there's no reason not to watch it, and I think this is one of those things that by watching it more and more, it's going to endear itself to me further, because it really it is what it's doing. Like, it's
exactly
what it is doing.
It's just fun. It's just a fun watch.
Yeah. I would definitely watch this again, and I will, and I have.
I will.
And it's already happening right now. Listener, I'm watching it.
It's been on in the background the whole time.
It's on in your house now too. Turn around. Look at your TV.
You're welcome. Yeah, does this work? Siri, play Hell Comes to Frogtown.
I think my favorite part of it really is in like the first few minutes when they get to Frogtown, when you get the sense now we're in the industrial space that we've rented, and we've hung some tapestries, some there's fabric
there's
creating
chains
rooms. And there's some chains and stuff, and you get the gritty saloon kind of cantina bar sequence. They're sitting down, they're going to have a drink. Trouble's going to happen the moment they're doing that, because it's like, why the hell are you stopping here to do this? Like, you're supposed to
Right. Why aren't the frogs like, get out of here?
Yeah, like, go get the ladies that you came here to steal instead of stopping and being like, oh, so this is a pretty nice establishment, huh? But like that it's just how nicely, given how cheap this movie is, they establish literally everything. Like, everything feels like it is there and it matters, and it's just really a well-written movie. I don't know. I like that you feel
it's great.
Like you said, like the provisional government being all women is very clearly established, and I don't think at any point they're like, this is an all women government now because blah blah blah. Like, there is something about men being wiped out in the war.
Yeah, just in the very, very beginning when he's signing the contracts, there's one of the women from MedTech she's got some lines that are very clearly like, and now some exposition, but that it just happens up at the top, and then it's better.
It doesn't underline these things a lot. It just says,
no,
here you go. This is the world you're in, and enjoy this weird world that everybody's going to play in and believe. The police officer guy is mustache twirlingly evil at the beginning, and he's mustache twirlingly evil at the end, and he dies in a classically like undignified, but also kind of, it's a little bit like the end of Die Hard, because he falls from a great height after they fight. Yeah.
But then he has to go after him, right? He falls, but he survives the fall.
Yeah. Well, yes, he does.
Yeah.
He's got to chase him down. But this is all because
spoilers. Sorry, listeners.
In this phase, in the last 20 minutes of the movie, like, Sam Hell goes on a real roller coaster emotionally, because they think that they have succeeded. They got all these harem ladies. They're in a van. They're going to drive away. He gets out of the car to defend them against the frog guy, who appears to blow the car up.
Yeah.
Now they have nothing, and he assumes everybody he cared about now is dead. The whole reason
because at this point, the thing on his wiener has been disabled.
Yes.
So at this point, he's helping them out of the kindness of his heart, not out of obligation.
It's not even just that there's a flap now. There's nothing.
Right. There's nothing. So he's emotionally invested. So when he thinks they've been exploded, he's not like, my contract.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no.
He's fully devastated. Like, you can see,
that lady I love.
Credit to Roddy for looking genuinely like distressed. He doesn't break down or anything, but he shows more emotion than a lot of action stars from this era of film would, given the circumstance.
Agree. Yeah.
And then he goes off and he's like mowing down the frog mafia boss, and then he's
pissed.
And then he's got to deal with the sheriff guy, and then everything works out. It's lovely.
It's lovely.
It's great. They all get to get in the van at the end. They get to drive away. I don't know how it's the same van because the van did get exploded, but they do get into the same van. This is literally the only thing wrong with the whole movie.
Interesting.
There's one
Interesting.
continuity error.
Didn't even pay attention to it. Oh, and then his friend dies.
Oh,
that's so sad.
Yeah, the prospector. Yeah, well, because he goes out protecting them. He's a distraction. He saves them so they can get away.
Yep.
Which is exactly what that old coot needed, because he was purposeless. He was just sitting in a Frogtown bar drinking and
drinking that weird juice.
They had real beer.
They did have real beer, but before that, whatever you were ordering at the bar was not real beer.
This is true. Yeah.
It was something weird. I don't remember. And he was also very excited about some sort of fish blend. He was eating frog food is what I'm saying.
Yeah. He was loving frog food, and he looked great for it. It was clearly agreeing with him 100%.
Yeah, no, he looked spry.
But yeah, Rory Calhoun, a big name from the 1950s. He's been not an important actor for 20 years at this point, at the point of this movie. But he's in this movie, and he's not bad. He's good at it. He's doing
great.
Exactly what you need.
You know who they almost cast instead of Roddy Piper?
Oh no, who?
I can't remember his name now, but he's the tall one of the Wet Bandits in Home Alone.
Oh, Daniel Stern.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was one of the two names, or maybe there were three names, but they went Roddy Piper, and I don't remember who the third name was.
Could you imagine?
It'd be
Daniel
so
Stern,
weird.
The voice of adult Kevin from the Wonder Years was Sam Hell.
No, that feels incorrect.
Doesn't it seem?
No, it's got to be Roddy Piper.
Daniel Stern would have been great in the movie, playing
100%,
playing the comedy of the movie even harder than Roddy is.
Which, that's not what we're doing. I need a heartthrob. Yeah. I need somebody who's convincingly making all these women swoon.
Yeah, you need this guy that he's cute and he's bulky and hunky.
Yeah.
But he's also able to play, I don't know what's going on, in a way that's very convincing. And I again, it's selling it, and the question of whether and I think ultimately in retrospect we know that Roddy was selling that too. He knew what he knew how to turn on the okay, I need to seem boyish and totally
here's where I have a twinkle in my eye, and here's where I'm dead behind the eyes. And and here's where it's rage,
which is so admirable. God, I mean, I think everybody should take a Roddy acting class of a sort, right?
Well, who was his acting coach? And I hope that they've had nothing but success.
Yeah, legit.
They did a good job.
They did a wonderful job. What a great movie.
Would you like to hear some of the credits of Steve Wang, the man who did the special effects and creature design?
Hit us with some Wang.
So gross. So part of why, please, wiener. So part of why these frogs look so dang good on this budget is because he's kind of a big deal. He's done some pretty impressive movies. For example, before Frogtown, he did Harry and the Hendersons and Predator and the Monster Squad. He's done a bunch of creature design and special effects for Lady in the Water, Blade Trinity, Underworld, Darkness Falls, Reign of Fire, Bicentennial Man, Idle Hands, Alien Resurrection. He's done a ton of stuff. And I saw a quote about him by Guillermo del Toro, famous movie monster creator, designer, director, saying that Steve Wang is an unsung hero of creature design, or at least a not sung enough hero.
No kidding.
And he's
you've listed a murderer's row of things to where
it's crazy.
It sounds to me like they called him up and were like, "Hey, can you do this thing?" He's like, You know what? It sounds fun. It'll take me like
I
2
got a
weekends.
weekend.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, let's do this. I'll make frog heads for you. Sure.
Yeah. It also looked like he was working for, or maybe just with, a design company called Amalgamated Dynamics for a while. And if you're an old listener of Never Show the Monster, you've heard that name before. The only thing I didn't take the time to go look up all of the things that they've done. The one that I always remember, though, is Tremors. And that's important to me.
Hell yeah.
And he also like worked with a bunch of big names in creature design. Stan Winston is the name that's like famous, that even, I don't know, even before I really cared about creature design, that was a name that I recognized.
Yeah.
He is an Oscar winner for...
He did Jurassic Park, right?
He did all the original Jurassic Parks, yep. And
and the
Aliens.
Thing, too?
And The Thing, he wasn't the primary director or the primary creature guy on that. That was Rob Bottin, Bottin. But yeah, Stan Winston. I think that there was like one monster sequence specifically where Rob was like, I got to get some fucking help on this. And he called Sam Winston in. I think it's the dog kennel scene, if I'm remembering it correctly. And he is the one who worked on an episode of The X-Files, specifically Fearful Symmetry with the Invisible Zoo.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't him. That was Rick Baker, who is another...
Oh, yeah. Rick Baker did a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm.
Rick Baker's big famous, worked with Steve Wang. And he also worked with Dick Smith, who has been nicknamed the godfather of makeup and special effects stuff.
Kelly,
he did.
Please. Wiener.
Yeah. God, you're so right. Wiener Smith has been nicknamed the godfather of makeup for such films as The Godfather and The Exorcist and Taxi Driver.
Wow. I mean, those are serious movies.
That's crazy.
I've heard of
those
all
are
of
serious
those.
movies. I know.
And I've seen all of them, too.
And then also Death Becomes Her and House on Haunted Hill.
Death Becomes Her is awesome. That, like, the special effects in that are really, like, they hold up. I rewatched that movie last fall. I think Jenny and I rewatched it. It's still legit good.
Good, because it's still on my to-do list.
Yes, you have to. Mr. Wang.
So it's just crazy that, like, the guy who did the effects on Hell Comes to Frogtown has such this pedigree and had it at the time of this movie. Like, he was already successful on successful movies.
Yeah, they were like, we need someone who really knows what they're doing to do this movie.
Get me the guy who did Predator on the phone.
Right, yeah.
Like,
and he
what?
picked up. Which is the other thing. Like, instead of being like, no thanks, I only do Predator movies.
He's like, oh, 12K, you say?
Yeah.
All right.
Frogtown.
I love a challenge.
And you say hell comes there. All right, I'm in.
Go on.
Turns out Steve Wang was second unit director on Kung Pao Enter the Fist. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No.
It is a like kung fu comedy movie. It's basically kind of a slapstick, goofy thing, like beavers or nunchucks kind of situation. Like it's real silly, but the effects in it are really well done, considering that it is also a similarly like super silly movie.
Yay! I love when that happens.
You might like that. I think it's a pretty quick.
Okay, what
movie
is it? Say the name again. Kung
Pao Enter the Fist.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist. I've heard of it.
Yeah. You might enjoy that. Oh, thank you, Steve Wang for doing this, for making Frogtown so enjoyable. Because I mean, if at the 38-minute mark they got to Frogtown and it looked like total garbage, I think you fall off of this movie more, right? Like,
or it pushes it up to a 6.5. Well, I don't know. It's hard to know.
Yeah, I suppose like how people adapt to having bad costuming might make the movie even better in different ways.
Yeah, it depends. I like it the way that it is.
Yeah, no, it's same. Big same. Is it time for the MouthGarf Report?
It is.
It's time for the MouthGarf Report.
The MouthGarf Report. For some lasagna.
I hate Mondays.
MouthGarf.
So, this is mouth adjacent. I have like a little like a little owie on the tip of my tongue. Do you ever get one of those?
Oh no. Yeah.
And and it's very annoying for talking
Yeah,
because
big time.
I'm
Yep.
trying to avoid touching the very tip of my tongue to my teeth, which makes
But that's where the diction is done.
Yeah. Kelly, please. Wienerchen.
Gah, you're right.
The new rule for the podcast. Just anytime you want to say dick in any form,
Oh, God.
it's wiener.
Oh God.
So I've been fighting through that. I believe it is from like some nights I chew on the mouth guard more and I poke at it more with my tongue, and I think that there's just enough of a rough surface that like doing that
Oh,
sort
you've
of
given yourself a little callus.
yeah. I think I'm causing myself problems is what I'm doing. I've continued to watch the X-Files, which is great.
Yes.
It just continues to be better and better. I just watched I cannot remember the name of the episode, and I should know it. It's the one where Mulder and Scully find the house of mutated young men. Home. Yes.
Yeah.
Who are keeping their
Yeah,
mother
it's,
with no limbs under the bed to make more humans out of, I think.
Gross. Yep. Yep.
Really well
Yep.
done, though. Like, probably it is so cinematically shot. There are a couple of sequences where they're trying to like break into the house.
Yeah.
And, you know, the young deputy guy goes up to the front door, immediately gets got by a trap. Duh. Like, you know he's going to go down the moment that he's bright-eyed and thinks he can just walk in there and it won't be a big deal.
Oh man.
But the way that like the camera sits with the two of them, they're hiding, they're in sort of medium depth behind each other, and they're sending they're chasing the pigs out to get all the guys to leave. And they just like, this is peak them. Like, they look so good. Their rapport with each other is so amazing.
Oh,
Like, it's just
yay.
fully it is the platonic form of X-Files episode.
It's a classic for a reason. Like, that one sticks out to everybody in large part because the subject matter is so jarring. I can't imagine like catching that for the first time, like the first night it aired and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah, in like 1997 or something.
If that.
And you're like,
which season is that?
I think it's season
3, 4?
Late 3. It might be late 3, early 4. I
So
have
that might
not
even be
fully
like
paid attention to where I am.
95.
But yeah, like so you're watching this show and it's just like, hey, it's usually like kind of a monster that's sort of unconvincing, or it's aliens. And then they're like, what if we have a fully like
What if it's people?
inbred family orgy situation, like just all of the things that you would think would be would be unpleasant are happening at the same time. But
Like, it could only be like more taboo if they also were cannibals, you know? Like, it could,
which they kind of
it's
are,
like
because they eat that deputy pretty fast.
Fuck, they ate him?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was saying that as a joke.
No, I'm pretty sure.
I forgot that. I
Scully
forgot.
says something like, they moved on whatever his name is right away, and they are just working him over, because they all come out and they have like blood all over their mouths and their hands. Like, they're eating people.
God damn. They be eating
They're
people.
eating people.
Well, goddamn. Then, yeah, imagine seeing that on TV.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
like,
what
it
the
is,
fuck?
It is just, I mean, it's like, it would be bold for HBO, and for it to have been like, this is just on. This is on TV, the normal time
This
you
is just
expect
on.
normal TV
It's
to
just
be
normal,
on. Enjoy.
normal TV,
Yeah.
normal style.
Yeah. So that's great. Otherwise, I've been playing some video games. I'm playing a little bit of MLB Show, which is a baseball video game. That
I suspected it might
yeah,
be.
Yeah. I'm playing it in that I am using the 2024 version, and I've spent multiple nights just fixing the rosters so they more closely match the rosters for 2025. Which,
Got it. Okay.
little inside baseball on Nate Regolia is something that I did when I was a kid too. Like, I would have my Super Nintendo, and I would have basketball games, hockey games, baseball games, football games, and I would spend hours moving players around,
Just getting it right.
creating players who weren't yet in the game because they weren't licensed. So then I would have to go like, well, but that guy plays. He has to be in this. So I'll make him.
He's got to be in
and
it.
I would go pre-internet now. I would go through the newspaper to figure out like, what's this guy's number? How big is he? What like
Whoa.
how fast does he appear to be?
I love
like,
this.
All this
I love
insane
this
stuff. So I've been doing a lot of that. The end game being that I sort of want to figure out how to create my fantasy baseball team.
Okay.
By starting maybe a franchise season where all the players that I currently have on my fantasy baseball team are the team that I'm fielding. We'll see if it works out.
Yeah.
It could be fun. I also will probably do what I
you.
did when I was a kid, which is do all this work, play like 3 or 4 games, and then now I'm tired of doing this all together.
Walk away.
And my work is done here. I will play a new game that I now want to play. And I've also been playing a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3 because they issued the big patch that allows people of all platforms to play together. So now I am
good. I just learned what this is called. What is it called? It's called a
cross-platform or
cross-platform.
Yeah. So now I'm able to connect with friends with PCs and
nice
other systems, Xbox. Those people exist.
That's awesome.
I don't know that I know any, but those people do exist.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Getting to do that is a lot of fun. So it becomes kind of like a fun social hangout to chat with my buddy and run around
nice. I like
making questionable decisions in a game that we could be playing seriously but are choosing not to, and I think that's okay.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody recently, maybe it was you, who decided to play as a villain this playthrough, and so they're making all the most evil decisions.
I like that idea.
Is that not you?
It's not, because we are doing a playthrough that is kind of a fuck around playthrough, but I have still been trying to make good decisions when I have the opportunities to.
Okay. Yeah. I think it was a buddy out here in San Francisco, and he's such a kind person, though, that he was like, I don't like doing this. I keep having to kill people, and I don't like it.
That's how I would be, though. I don't think that, like, if it was just me playing, I couldn't do it. Like, I feel...
Yeah.
I feel the humanity of these fake video game characters, and I cannot just be
I don't want to
evil
do that.
to them. Yeah, it wouldn't work. The version of that is called the Dark Urge. So there's actually a built-in version of the game where you create a character who gets, in addition to the normal dialogue choices, 1 or 2 that are like, you feel like just ripping this person's head off their neck.
Yeah, that might be what he's doing.
And so you can choose the Dark Urge and follow that as much as you want, or you don't have to.
Yeah, I think that's probably what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I wouldn't be able to do that either. I'm pretty sure he abandoned that playthrough because he was like, too hard.
Yeah, I think that would make me miserable. I have an important Garf question for you.
Hit me with it.
So we've been talking about a film called Hell Comes to Frogtown, and I wanted to ask you whether the Garf reboot would be better suited as Garf Comes to Frogtown or Hell Comes to Garftown. So pick whichever one, and then I want you to make your pitch to me, and I'm going to make a counter pitch.
Okay. Okay. I don't believe that this is the correct answer. I don't think that this is what Hollywood would do.
Okay.
But I'm going to say Hell Comes to Garftown because, one, lightning's not going to strike twice on those frogs. I don't think that we can recreate those frogs. And I think that if we try, we're going to find ourselves in trouble. That's just inviting criticism, comparing our new frogs to the old frogs, and the old frogs are going to win. 2, I want to see a bunch of Garfs and their variations. And I want to see, and I think that that's rife for like little Easter eggs and nods to the various Garf incarnations we've had over time. So there's one who's like going to be doing a Bill Murray shtick, you know?
Yeah. I like where you're going very much.
That'll probably be the head honcho frog.
Well, don't forget Lorenzo Music, the voice of Garf from the Garfield and Friends cartoon.
Oh yeah, he can be in there. And we can have like one of them can have like a pet Yodi that they know. Is that his name?
Yodi? Yeah. Uh-huh. Odie.
Okay.
Odie.
Odie. I was like, here's what happened is I've continued to watch speed runs of various different video games, including Super Mario Bros. And so I've been seeing Yoshi in my life lately.
Okay. See, what happened to me there was my neighbor 2 doors down has a dog named Yoti. Yotie.
Oh, God.
And so you said Yodi, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like the name of a dog.
Yeah, I know a dog by that name.
And I went, no, wait. Odie.
Odie. Yeah. So they can have a little Odie that they keep on a leash like Hell does with the sergeant, that they like kick around.
Right.
And are just
to Abu Dhabi and back. Well, I guess that would be normal.
Exactly.
Normal probably would be more like the sex worker character in Garf Town.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then maybe one of the humans in town who's can be like a John character.
I think that's a good idea because we don't want it to be John Comes to Garf Town where we're putting him
absolutely
in that spot.
not.
No. Yeah. Much better we keep Roddy in the movie, but he comes to a Garf Town.
Man, I even thought that we were going to recast. I like keeping it Roddy. Yeah, you're right.
We got to keep Roddy. Roddy stays.
We got to keep
everything
Roddy.
else. Yeah. Literally everything about this movie is exactly the same, except it's a Garf Town, and all
Garf
of the
Town.
reverberant changes that a Garf Town makes.
Yes.
I think that Chris Pratt has to be our head evil Garf.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
He's the evil boss Garf.
Because we all dislike him.
He's terrible at it. He never should have been there in the first place. Clearly, an authoritarian move. Bad decision.
Yep. Agreed. Yep.
Yeah. Great. You obviously took the correct answer. That is what we would need to do. The counter pitch is, of course, that Garfield is in this movie instead of Roddy Piper,
which I think is also a winning idea.
It's not a bad idea. Now, do you bring Arlene into it? Does Arlene become Sparkle?
Which one is Arlene?
Arlene is like the purplish cat. She's the female cat with a very long, thin neck.
Okay. Then yes.
Okay,
yes.
Great. So we drop
okay.
Arlene in there.
Yeah.
I assume then, I don't know, is Nermal Czech Pharrell? Is Nermal Centinella?
Nermal's a baby, right?
Nermal's also a boy, so never mind.
Oh, okay.
Well,
we're just going to need another
I don't have to be so gendered about this casting. Like, it could still be Nermal.
That's true. We could have... Garf can be bisexual in the year of our Lord 2025.
Look, there was a disagreement, and everything got blown up. You don't need traditional
all rules are out the window.
Associations and sexuality.
Though I suppose if they're rationing virile men, they might not like that.
I guess, but like, if you can catch two at the same time, that seems like a win.
Right? Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Garf is the lead. We are just John is going to be the sheriff guy at the beginning, that's torturing Garf, and who Garf gets at the end. I guess maybe Sam Jack from the Garfield movie, who plays Garf's dad, is the evil kingpin Garf in Frogtown, or they're frogs. I guess they could just be frogs instead. I guess we keep them as frogs.
I see.
Because it's Garf going to Frogtown.
I think keep them as frogs because they need to be different, or maybe it's humans.
Okay, now we're talking. They're French.
There we go. We did it.
Garf goes to Frogtown. It turns out it's just Paris.
Just light racism.
Yeah. It's just the only acceptable kind.
Or I guess nationalism, agoraphobia, not agoraphobia, xenophobia.
Yeah, it's a little xenophobic. But there was a disagreement.
A light disagreement.
So that's the movie. But I much prefer going to an all Garf town. That is what you want. You want the multiple Garfs in the one image that I've shared with you and Chelsea. I want all those Garfs pointing at each other, doing the Spider-Man. It's a great thing. It's perfect.
Or that comic with all the little Garf characters, like our group chat images from. Do you remember it was like a million different Garfs in different costumes? Yeah. All of them can be there.
Cowboy Garf, Spaceman
Cowboy
Garf,
Dr. Garf.
Dr. Garf.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Both of these movies need to be made.
Yeah, I agree.
Listener-
Let's call
New World Cinema.
New Move Cinema.
Listeners, if you know New World Cinema, or if you have yourself anywhere between $70,000 and $900,000 that you would like to give us to make one or two of these movies, we'll do it.
And let me see. Is Steve Wang still with us? I'm sorry, Steve Weiner still with us?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It appears. I mean, I don't see
Hell
a date
yeah.
of birth.
Get him on the
but
horn.
He's not reported to be no longer
Good.
with us. Yeah. This I believe is our destiny. I think I
Yeah.
don't know that there's any other purpose for us to exist, let alone really anything else.
No, yeah,
You see
all
what I
media
mean?
needs to be put
I
on
think
hold.
we've cracked the meaning of life.
Yeah.
I think that in Hitchhiker's
Yeah.
Guide to the Galaxy, they created a computer that gave the number 42 and was meant to be asked this question:
How many
How many
Garftown movies?
how many Garfield movies must there be? Yes, this is the meaning. This is the truth. Do you have any other MouthGarf stuff?
Just that I finally finished Twin Peaks.
Hey.
The Return.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't realize that this was a canceled prematurely situation. I thought that it was like a final wrap up situation.
Yes.
So that was really hard to come upon.
But it's almost the only appropriate way for it to exist.
I know.
You know?
People would have been mad. People would have been mad no matter how.
There's something almost
ended.
more poetic to, like, maybe David Lynch was going to finish this at some point, but that so many
Yeah.
of his things, because people don't get it, get shortened and
People
abridged.
do not get it.
You know? Because
Yeah.
Mulholland Drive was the same way.
Honestly, I don't get it. If I'm being, I don't get
No.
it.
but we talked about that on Eraserhead. Like, I don't think it's meant to be God.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not about getting
No, you take the parts that you get, and you leave the rest.
Exactly. That's what living really is. That's
Truly.
why Garf needs to go to Frogtown, and Hell needs to come to Garftown.
God, David Lynch would be the perfect
Can you
director for
imagine?
this.
He did make Dune. I mean, we should probably do the first Dune movie at some point.
Oh yeah, we should. Absolutely, we should. Yes.
Which I guess means we might have to talk about the other one that didn't get made. That looked like it
Yeah,
was going to be
the,
wild. But we could do that.
I would love to.
It's a plan. We're going to do it. I wonder if
Perfect.
Michael J. O'Connor would want a guest. He might.
Probably.
Might be able to get him.
Listeners, clap your hands if you want Michael J. O'Connor
That's right.
to come back for the first Dune movie.
Listeners, send us requests for beef quotes if you want us to make an episode.
And list any meat beefs that you have.
Yeah, we really do need to air our meat beefs.
Ooh.
That's what the movie's about. There's a flap.
There's a flap.
And that was the MouthGarf Report?
Yeah.
Now, let's play a game, right? The
Okay.
Wasteland is full of good-natured humor and
Yes.
and bits. And what
And bits.
what is the game we play if not a bit?
I'm at a loss for words. It is a bit. It's a bit. First and foremost, it's a bit, and then it's also a skit.
Yeah.
It's a goof and a spoof, but first of all, it is a
Sometimes
bit.
it's a vibe.
Oh yeah. Oh, most times I'd say.
Occasionally it's a groove.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's a bummer.
No. That's just part of the bit.
That's the bit. It's time to play I See What You Did There.
Ooh.
Right. So these are going to be Roddy Piper and frog / amphibian.
Oh, brother.
themed.
Okay.
We're going to have a great time.
Oh, if there's a fucking finger monkey in here, I'm gonna scream.
I don't think there are any finger monkeys. I did a pretty good job of keeping finger monkeys out of this.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Number 1, Roddy Piper's most famous and beloved role was as John Nada in this John Carpenter film. And this is both a song by Paul McCartney and Wings and the title of the first Roger Moore starring James Bond film.
They Live and Let Die.
They Live and Let Die. You see what I did there.
Yay! I got one.
Number two. This fortified wine, dry or sweet, is produced in the 5th largest city in Italy and is used for cooking a well-known chicken dish and in tiramisu and shortcake. And these slick, non-frog amphibians are typically characterized by their lizard-like appearance, with slender bodies, blunt noses, short limbs projecting at right angles to the body, and the presence of a tail.
Moscatoad?
I love that. I want to give it to you just for that, because Moscatoad is really good. It wasn't what I was going for.
Okay, which part did I get wrong?
Both.
Or both?
Both parts are incorrect.
Both parts are wrong?
Both parts are incorrect,
Oh,
but
nuts.
I see what you did there. And I am so proud right now.
Okay.
I'm
Thanks.
going to put that on the Debut Buddies refrigerator right now so that we can remember it always. It replaces the board of things that Nate shouldn't say.
Days since Nate said something problematic. Okay. Will you read the clues again?
So part 1 is this fortified wine, dry or sweet, is produced in the 5th largest city in Sicily and is used for cooking a well-known chicken dish. So you're going to want to think of literally the title of the chicken dish includes the name of this wine.
Oh. Uh-oh.
And it sounds...
We've done this before where I'm like, I don't eat animals.
I'll give you another clue so that you can kind of get in the headspace. This chicken dish, the Italian one, sounds in name sounds very similar to a very popular Indian food chicken dish that is a very like anglicized one. It's creamy and not too spicy. So
I mean, that's tikka masala.
great. So
chicken marsala chicken.
Great. Okay.
Okay.
You got the first part. That's the wine.
Okay.
And then second part, we're looking for a slick, non-frog amphibian characterized by their lizard-like appearance with slender bodies, blunt noses.
Oh, Marsalamander?
Marsalamander, you see what I did there?
Yay!
Hell yes. All right. We're doing great. We're coming into
Truly,
we're
doing
into the
really
middle
good.
here.
Yeah.
We're feeling good.
Yeah, here we go. Can always tell when I'm doing poorly because Nate gets very supportive.
No, you crushed the first one without thinking about it, and the second one was really a matter of knowing Marsala wine, and I knew that was going to be hard. I just don't know
stuff.
I thought that was going to be the hardest one of the group. I will say that.
Oh, good. Okay.
Number 3. This is an imagined world or society in which people lead wretched, dehumanized, fearful lives, and everything is unpleasant or bad. Typically a totalitarian or environmentally degraded one. And according to a frequently paraphrased partial statement by German revolutionary and critic Karl Marx, religion is this.
Dystopioid of the masses?
I will take dystopioid of the masses, or dystopia
what was it
of
supposed
the masses.
To?
Yeah.
Dystopiate.
Both
yes,
versions
yes,
of that quote exist. So you got it. You see what I did there.
Okay. Phew.
Dystopioid of the masses.
Phew.
Yeah. Very good. All right.
It's opiate. You're right. It's opiate.
I think it is opiate, but it works.
Yeah.
Number 4. This is a piece of playground equipment made of many metal pieces and other materials on which participants can climb, hang, sit, and in some configurations, slide. And this famed frog puppeteer's creature shop didn't make the frog costumes for Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Oh, wait, read the second part again?
And this famed frog puppeteer's creature shop didn't make the frog costumes for Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Frog puppeteer shop?
He's a famous frog puppeteer, and he had a creature shop. That creature shop made puppets for Dark Crystal They made Yoda, famously, one of the creatures they made. The TV show Dinosaurs was famously a production by this puppeteer.
But is this Sesame Street?
He also brought his frog puppet onto Sesame Street several times. This frog puppet would
But it's not
play,
Kermit.
no,
then.
it is Kermit, yeah.
Oh, it is Kermit. When you say it, I'm going to be like, yeah, of course I know that. But
He died of cancer in a similar way to Steve Jobs because he just believed he could kind of health food his way out of it. Let's jump over to the first part. What do you think a piece of playground equipment made of many pieces of material like metal pipes and ropes?
Got it. You're so smart, Jungle Jim Henson.
You see what I did there? Jungle Jim Henson. That's right.
Oh, you're so smart to hop back to the first part.
I knew if you got Jim, you would get there. It was just...
Well, so the reason I started focusing on the second part was because I was like, I thought it was monkey bars for the first part. And so I was like, I've got that figured out. Let me...
And you're like,
but I didn't.
Bart who made a puppet?
Yeah, I was like, I can't...
Barney? Barney the purple dinosaur? This is terrible. Yeah, I feel you.
Yes, that's amphibian.
Okay, last one. Here we go. Number 5. All hail the Hypnotoad, a hypnotic alien toad from this sci-fi series by Simpsons creator Matt Groening. And this is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, observed by Muslims as a month of fasting, communal prayer, reflection, and community.
Future Ramadan?
Future Ramadan. You see what I did there?
Yay!
Well done. Yay!
Yay!
And that's how we play. I see what you did there.
We did it!
And you know what else we're going to do? We're going to talk Debs.
Debs.
How many Debs? How many Debs? How many Debs? How many
Yay!
How many Debs are you giving Hell Comes to Frogtown, Kelly?
Yo, I got to give this 5 Debs.
Yeah.
This is so good. This is so fun. I only feel more positively toward it now that after we've talked about it for so long. Like, this one was just a fun movie. This one would be great to watch with friends. This is a great, like, we're hanging out. We don't really need to focus on anything. Like, we're really enjoying each other's company. Put this on type movie. I bet there are incredible drinking games for this.
Oh, yeah. I would, anytime that there's a euphemism for wiener in the movie.
Yeah.
Drink. Yeah.
There's a flap drink. I'm trained in seduction drink.
Yeah.
Like, this is a fun one. This is a fun and dumb one.
You say that you would watch this movie with friends. I would watch this movie with enemies. It's that good of a movie.
Oh yeah,
like this,
I think that it could bring us together.
Absolutely, yeah. This movie begins with a disagreement, but it would end all disagreements going forward if you just sat down and went, like, you know what? This makes sense, and now everything else does.
Yeah, is this the world that you want? No, let's make peace.
Yeah, let's do better than this. This is a movie that would function perfectly as a like behind the bar projected movie, right?
100%.
It is visually
yes.
weird and interesting, and it's enough to like draw your eye for a little bit, but you don't have to totally hear it to get it. But when you hear it, it's all gold. Like everything everyone is saying is so well delivered and funny and delightful, and even when the action is kind of weak in ways, like or just you know, they're doing what they can. Because again, I think they ran out of money at about the 50-minute mark, and it was like, okay, cool, so we need to throw this guy off the cliff, but he can't actually do that, so what he needs to do is we need to move the camera up here so that when you throw him, he kind of leaves frame.
It looks good.
And then you look over. But it's genius. Like they did all of these things.
So smart.
They took a movie that was supposed to be a direct-to-video, then they turned it into a feature. It got noted all to hell, and it still turned out to be a fucking
pushed back
brilliant movie. Like, I know I said this
Yeah,
wasn't a
this is
capital
really
G
fun.
good movie at the top, but I think it actually is. I think that more
God,
movies
maybe
need
it is.
this amount of like joyful creativity in them.
You know what I think? Tell me if you disagree. I think that it would be easier to teach someone how to make a capital G good movie than it would be to teach them to make something like this.
And yeah, in 2025, 100%. Yeah.
Like I think that making a capital G good movie is like a learnable skill. I think that this is pure talent.
Yeah, this is rough and tumble. This is just a
This
bunch
is
of
artistry.
Yeah, this is just a bunch of big swinging wieners, all making weird decisions
All
together,
over the
and
place.
I mean, because your capital G good movie maybe isn't going to go get Steve Wang to do the special
No,
effects on this. You know,
they
They're-
should though.
and and yeah, it's just I don't know. It the movies like this that fail are always the ones that don't understand what they're doing. And understanding what you're doing is the like learned but like intangible skill of storytelling, right?
Yeah.
I deal with this a lot where, you know, you're working on writing something, editing something. It's easy to know how to put sentences together. It's easy to know how to put scenes together. It's easy to know how to play things out.
Yeah.
What isn't easy is recognizing like right here, it's what you said about like it's the notes you don't play. Like knowing, don't keep underlining. We don't need to say this anymore. Or
No, just trust your audience. The audience that gets it is going to be there with you. You don't have to string them along.
if you come into this movie and you see the frog person in a full like beekeeping costume pick up a tiny Statue of Liberty and you chuckle knowingly, you're in. It's your movie.
You're in.
And if you look
you
at
got
that
it.
and you're like, this sucks, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're so
It's not
sad
for you.
and
It's not for
replete
you.
of joy. Like,
Yeah.
may you find something that gets you up in the morning because this should be it.
This is it. This is it.
It is a 5. It's really close to Debs as
I agree.
a high quality movie for similar reasons because it is so driven by this earnest, honest affection.
Yeah.
And even though there are plenty
Yeah.
of sort of exploitative aspects to it, they aren't the thing that we're supposed to care about. Like,
No, they also aren't like gratuitous.
yeah, they're they're played so sincerely and so like
know, yeah.
and so carefully downplayed so that they're not gratuitous. It's like we want to have a lot of like scantily clad ladies, but we don't want them too scantily clad, nor do we want them to
Right.
do anything that would be too gross. So instead,
Like I think that the only nudity we see is the woman who is enthusiastic to have sex.
and it's barely there.
And
It's like,
barely. It's just
yeah.
topless.
And it's maybe like a few
Short.
frames. It's not
Yeah.
a long drawn out thing. Yeah.
No.
It's a wonderful film. 5 Debs.
It's great. 5 dabs. 5 dabs.
With that settled, listeners, we are going to we're going to do something a little different. You know, I mentioned playing MLB The Show, so we're going to talk about a baseball thing. And a baseball first that I think is really important to everyone is what we're going to talk about, which is the first walk-up song, the origin of the idea that when a batter steps into the batter box, you play music to get them amped up, but it also amps the crowd up.
I'm excited. I don't know anything about this. But I believe in the power of music, so I suspect this is going to be very interesting.
Hell yeah. It is, because I think at least I don't know, 20% of my baseball love has to do with walk-up songs and how easily they allowed me to connect with it. Like you go
I
see a
love
baseball
that.
game in person and you learn a lot about the player by the song they choose, right? Like you get a vibe on this guy
Fun.
if he's picking like a country song or whatever. One of my favorite players, now retired, but Charlie Blackmon, who used to play for the Rockies, his walk-up song is a song called Your Love by The Outfield.
That's an appropriate name.
It's the one that's like,
Today.
I don't want to lose your love tonight.
Tonight.
One hit wonder
Yeah,
song.
yeah, yeah.
Great song though. And it's the sort of thing like Charlie Blackmon played his whole career for the Rockies. Every single time that song played, even when Coors Field was empty because people don't care about baseball in Denver really, unless they're going to see Dodgers or Padres games, they would sing along to Charlie's song. Because it means something,
I love
right?
that.
And I always loved that. So this is going to be a lot of fun to talk about because I think it's just going to be fun to think about, like, well, where did that start? Because, no spoiler, it wasn't music labels being like, hey, you guys got to pump some music in your stadium. We'll do an affiliate deal. It wasn't that. It was...
Yeah, if anything, that costs money to do anymore.
I think it's going to be a lot closer to a Hell Comes to Frogtown scenario where people like something and realize that they can do it well. So that's going to be fun. We're going to talk about that. The first walk-up song.
Can I tell
Yes.
you a fun fact, a music fun fact about Hell Comes to Frogtown that I completely forgot?
Shit, yes.
That we needed to discuss. Here's a bonus one, listeners, for those of you who are listening through the end. The soundtrack. The first time I watched this movie, I was pretty drunk, and my note just said, soundtrack, period. Incredible, period. And so I looked up some details later. It was composed by Ben Shapiro's father.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Weird, right?
I really want to try to unravel why this is the reason why Ben Shapiro is the way he is.
Is the way that he is. Yeah. Yeah. We'll discuss it on our Frogtown segment next week.
Here's my guess, and we'll probably never find out. My guess is that maybe he wanted to be one of the frogs in Frogtown and was told that he could not do that. And so,
or maybe other way around, he looked pretty froggy and people kept calling him Frogger, like they do as a derogatory term in the film.
That's right. They're like, hey, be careful crossing the street, Frogger.
And then he was like, well, now I'll be awful then.
I want to be mean about everything except for a couple of times when Trump is clearly a moron. And I think that's also stupid.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, I guess.
Broken clock.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like a broken sundial scenario, if it's anything. Listeners, thank you for listening to the show. If you like this, please go to Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, talk to us about Hell Comes to Frogtown, talk to us about meat beef, talk to us about movies, or maybe your theories about how Hell Comes to Frogtown radicalized Ben Shapiro. Put that in the comments. Just give us 5 stars, and we would like to hear that. If you like the music on the podcast, it's all Michael J. O'Connor. You can also check out his new band, which is at Michael J. O'Connor and the Cold Family.
Cold Family.
Bandcamp.com. I also encourage you to go to YouTube and look up the video I mentioned on our previous episode. The band was the Most Awesome Protagonist. I believe you can find Most Awesome Protagonist Reunion or Map Reunion on YouTube, and you can see Michael J. O'Connor and his 2 former bandmates literally hanging out in the living room and playing their asses off and being so fucking talented. It is a delight.
I love
like
that.
Steve Wang, you can't teach it.
That's true. And while you're over on YouTube, like Nate mentioned earlier, the show is now on that platform as well. So while you're there, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe. Make sure to comment, give it a thumbs up.
That's right. And
You
enjoy
know,
the
usual
static image of our logo as it lingers for conservatively 2.5 hours while you listen to whatever.
Yeah, no,
episode.
we're still not, you still can't see us, but you can stream it on, if you're a YouTube music girly like me, then you can do it over there.
It is. We are getting some listens. I've looked at some of the stats. We're getting we're getting some stuff's happening. I'm not seeing a lot of activity around anything yet, and some people are dipping out, which is fine. I think people find something.
That's fine.
And it looks like it's going to be what they want, and it turns out it's us, and that's okay. Because if we're not enough for them now, then they'll find themselves later.
We'll be here.
If you want to read some science fiction books and other speculative literary fiction, go to readspaceboy.com. Check out all the stuff we've got. It's been another big year. I was recently informed by a couple of the authors who are helping me revitalize the newsletter that we have nearly 70 titles on the roster now, which makes me feel like a madman for having made so many books in 8 years, almost 9 years.
That's
Yikes.
incredible.
Big yikes. So we're going to come back. We're going to talk walk-up songs. And until then, I hope that whenever you need it, there's a flap.
There's a flap.
Yo-ha.
Yo-ha!
Bye, buddies.
First is best, or first is worst.